Coming up, KTSM has obtained shocking video of the Sun Metro explosion that claimed the lives of 2 people and injured several others. The cause behind the deadly event and the status of that investigation. Then the U.S. government's gross national debt hitting a new record this week, making this the fastest $1 trillion accumulation outside of a pandemic. What the Trump administration is doing in response amid the continuing government shutdown. And we're looking at a beautiful breezy afternoon. Robert, are there any major changes the Borderland should expect for this weekend?
We're going to get another chance of more showers this evening, Tirza, before we dry out for the weekend ahead. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9+, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First at 4. I'm Tirza Ortiz in for Monica Cortez. Bond has been set for a man accused of restraining his mom's ex-boyfriend in a deadly chokehold. We told you about 26-year-old Jeremiah Aguilar last week. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by KTSM, El Paso County Sheriff's deputies responded to Winter Spring Place, all in response to a report of an unconscious man face down in the driveway. When deputies arrived, they saw a woman performing CPR on 37-year-old Jerome Fanaro. Court documents say a fight broke out between Aguilar and Fanaro, which led to Aguilar placing Fanaro in a chokehold. Fanaro, unresponsive due to the hold, was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. His initial bond was set at $100,000. However, his attorney argued his mother is behind on mortgage and wouldn't be able to assist. The judge set his bond at $25,000, but he must check in with a parole officer and he could not be rearrested. And he also can't leave El Paso County. Now, we do have shocking new video showing the moments a Sun Metro bus exploded, killing 2 city employees. Several videos of the incident were released by the city of El Paso yesterday, and today we are able to show you different angles of that explosion. As you may remember, the explosion ripped through Sun Metro's transit center on Montana Avenue in East El Paso. 2 Sun Metro employees, German Garcia and Ruben Ibarra, were both flown to a burn facility in Phoenix, but later died. 6 others suffered injuries in the blast, and according to the fire marshal's office, the explosion happened after mechanical friction or an electrical current ignited the gas-air mixture. The incident has been ruled unintentional, and the investigation is now closed. For more on this story, you can visit KTSM.com. Well, happening right now, Governor Greg Abbott is in the Borderland as part of his re-election campaign. The governor hosting a Get Out to Vote event as we speak, which began at 3 p.m. The event taking place at Riviera Cocina and Cantina on Donovan Drive. As previously reported, Abbott is running for re-election next year. He has served 3 terms since 2015. KTSM's Jesus Baltazar will be reporting at 5 o'clock on this event. You want to go ahead and stay tuned for that. Immigration enforcement will soon require more involvement from local law enforcement. Senate Bill 8 requires every sheriff in Texas to enter into what is known as a 287G agreement with ICE before the law takes effect on January 1st, 2026. The law gives sheriffs 3 choices: work with ICE during street-level enforcement, enforce immigration law inside the jail, or operate under the Warrant Service Officer model, also known as WSO. Sheriff Oscar Ugarte says El Paso County will move forward with that last option.
I believe that this will affect the community less. Me personally, I do not believe that local law enforcement should be enforcing federal law. That's why we have federal agencies. If we go out there and enforce federal law, and if we choose the task force model for the streets, I believe that's going to create a big disconnect between the community and local law enforcement, and a lot of crime is going to go unreported.
Sheriff Ugarte says this option is similar to what they do now, but currently it is a federal officer who checks for detainers. Now, under this model, once a person is booked into the county jail, a trained deputy or detention officer would run federal database checks. If there is a detainer or warrant, that person would be held for federal authorities. All right, putting a pause on our headlines for a moment to get a live look outside using our tower camera. It is still looking partly cloudy out there, but overall beautiful. Robert, it was breezy this morning, and actually I saw a little bit of shower activity happening around 8 a.m. It was beautiful. Please tell me we have more in store.
Oh, we have a chance, and
Okay.
I had my chance, but got absolutely nothing in my house. That's the way it goes, but lucky those who got a little rain this day. Here are the rain totals of the last 24 hours. 0.02 for Las Cruces. Kind of a bumpy morning this morning with some showers and even isolated storms rolling through. 0.04 Deming. Nothing at the airport at Tres for Juarez, and 0.28 up in Cloudcroft. The main thrust of this system is done. However, if you look south of the border right now, we still have some active isolated cells. So there is still a chance we could get a little more passing rain overnight tonight, even an isolated thunderstorm or two in the area this evening. Of course, the big story today has been the winds gusting to 23 miles per hour at the airport, 26 Las Cruces. Those winds turn chilly tomorrow. High temperature 78 degrees, especially in the morning. You're going to need a jacket, and you're going to need a jacket for football Friday night. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Tirsa.
All right, Robert, thank you for that. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic using our TxDOT traffic cameras. We are currently looking at I-10 and US 54, and it does look like there is a bit of bumper-to-bumper activity happening on both sides going east and west, taking those exits. Now, it really is about that time that we're looking at about 4:06 currently in the afternoon, so people are probably heading home, trying to get over to the bridge. Really, this is what we expect during this time, so if you are heading this direction, make sure you just leave with plenty of patience and make sure you are being really aware out on the road just to avoid accidents, getting from point A to B as safely as possible. Well, over in national news, as the government shutdown continues, the national debt hits a new high. News Nation Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira has the details on the latest numbers from the U.S. Treasury Department.
The national debt soars to new heights. I'm Mike Viqueira, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. The U.S. government's gross national debt hitting a new record this week, topping $38 trillion for the first time. That's according to the U.S. Treasury Department. Just 2 months ago, back in August, the national debt hit $37 trillion for the first time. That makes this the fastest trillion-dollar accumulation outside of a pandemic. The Trump administration has taken measures to cut costs this year, including reducing the size of the federal workforce through DOGE. But the debt has continued to climb. Over the past 50 years, the debt has increased under both Republican and Democratic administrations. It's grown by more than $2 trillion in the past year alone. The news comes as the government shutdown settles into its fourth week. As the second longest shutdown in modern U.S. history, Congress must pass a bill to fund the government for the shutdown to end. I'm Mike Viqueira, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Coming up, controversial DHS video will stay at the El Paso Airport TSA despite takedown requests. We hear what you have to say in the comments segment. Then Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and we are giving you a sneak peek at this year's amazing floats. Today, you'll get an inside look at this year's Aladdin's Thanksgiving float. Thank you for watching KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
Check.
You need real money. Get Wainwright Injury Lawyers.
Full signage has gone up at the El Paso International Airport stating that the video from the Department of Homeland Security does not represent the views of the airport after a takedown request of the video was denied. While the disclaimer was recently added by the city, federal officials have stated the video cannot be removed without direction from DHS or the conclusion of the ongoing government shutdown. The sign reads, "The views expressed in the TSA-controlled video display do not represent the views of the El Paso International Airport. The El Paso International Airport does not engage in partisan policy." We shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you want to share with us. Ismania Sims Lopez says, how is it that LAX and Las Vegas Airport can deny it, but El Paso can't? Cody Miller writes, how many people even know what partisan policy means? Lorena Ellis writes, I was at the airport today and no one paid any attention to it, just an eyesore making some noise. The El Paso City Council is set to discuss a proposal on Monday, October 27th, that could reshape how the TSA security checkpoint operates at El Paso International Airport. The agenda item calls for the city manager and city attorney to work with federal agencies to explore a new agreement governing the space. Of course, here at KTSM, we do value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. Make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Up next, federal officials charge current and former professional basketball players, including an NBA head coach. We'll tell you what illegal scheme they were involved in. This is KTSM 9 News, First at 4.
Ana Pau Pau. Amen.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
I'm standing next to a supermodel, so I had to run and get a little platform real quick, so I didn't look that short.
You were very fast. We heard
And the
countdown
pinstripes don't help, Tirza, when you're,
Robert,
supermodel
I
height.
had to match the energy that you bring to every newscast. So I really had to show up.
That's so positive. I like that. The energy. Is that what it's called? But thank you.
Of course.
All right. Well, let's talk about our last chance of little showers and storms that we have tonight. Here are the winds right now, gusting to 23 miles per hour at the International Airport. We're gusting to 26 Las Cruces, 34 Deming. I do suspect these winds are going to peak over the next couple of hours, gusting to somewhere between 30 and 35 miles per hour. Strongest right there on the eastern slopes of the mountains. This is a low pressure system that's sweeping through New Mexico, and we're getting the tail end of it. It is starting to clear at times, but there's hope we could get another little round of isolated showers and storms. The atmosphere is fairly unstable over El Paso County, and I am watching some action south of the border. If that holds together, it could pull by some passing showers. Not a tremendous amount of rainfall, nothing severe or anything like that, but some showers with an isolated thunderstorm in the area certainly possible until about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight. Then everything is going to start to clear up nicely. Here are the rain totals so far today. 0.02 Las Cruces, 0.01 Alamogordo. Look at that, 0.28 inches Cloudcroft, 0.17 in Ruidoso. Of course, we didn't get anything officially at the airport rain gauge. 84 is the temperature right now. We've got winds coming in 13 miles per hour and occasionally gusty. Look at the dew point temperature. What a change. This system brought its own moisture with it. But as that system moves away, the moisture will move away as well, leaving us very dry and sunny for the weekend ahead. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 86 for Juarez, 84 for us, 80 Las Cruces, 81 Alamogordo, 82 for Deming. I'll have the official high temperatures a little bit later this afternoon. 80 is the temperature in Las Cruces, winds gusting to 26 miles per hour. Here are the temperatures in your neighborhood right now. Again, we'll keep that chance of a passing shower in this evening. Winds will be gusty, peaking at around 5 to 6 o'clock tonight. Then they too will pull back. It'll all clear up tonight. We're in for a cooler night. And here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for your Friday. And it's Friday. Now, at times, the winds are going to feel a little chilly, especially in the morning. High temperature will go down to 78 tomorrow afternoon. West winds peaking at about 25 miles per hour. Your allergy forecast looks like this. 9s across the board next 3 days. That has no change there. And your low temperatures tonight, 51 Alamogordo, 43 Deming, and 58 for Juarez. High temperatures tomorrow, 73 Alamogordo, 75 for Deming, and 78 for Juarez as we cool down and turn sunny again. Now, coming up in about 30 minutes, I'll have your exclusive 9-day forecast. It has Halloween in view. All coming up. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
KTSM 9 presents the Sun Bowl Parade behind the scenes.
We continue our series where KTSM previews the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we go behind the scenes to see all the work that is put into building the wonderful floats that are seen every year. Today we are putting our focus on a fairy tale float. Our KTSM 9 News anchor Monica Cortez and photojournalist Sofia Lopez have this story.
Hey everyone, for this week's parade preview, we're talking about Once Upon a Time. And who better than to talk to us about this than, of course, the always amazing Joe Dabak. Hey,
hello,
how are
hello.
you?
How you doing? Nice to see you.
What is this?
So this is a wonderful float. It's called Once Upon a Time, sponsored by Rise Federal Credit Union, and all the teachers of the years from every district will be riding on this float. And this cool thing, a very cool story about this one is, this set behind me was actually used over 40 years ago for a stage set for El Paso Ballet. We were able to repurpose it, take it out of retirement, and now put it on this float.
You know, we were talking about Once Upon a Time. When you think about teachers, it's really nice because it's almost like imagination, story time. Tell me how that fits into the theme this year.
Yes, you know, because childhood dreams is where everything is born. And where does it first start? Story time, back when kids are in kindergarten and grade school. They see these stories and their imagination goes wild, and they're like, yeah, I want to be this, I want to be that, and there's where it all is born.
Wow, so looking at this set, Joe, it reminds me, it gives me Aladdin vibes. Is that what you guys are going
100% ding, ding, ding. You get a star for today.
Yay.
That is, it will be an Aladdin themed float.
Oh, wow. Okay, so are the teachers going to be dressed up like Aladdin?
Well, we're going to try to get them to, I hope so. But we will have magic carpets on here for them to stand on, so it will take you back to the time of the movie Aladdin.
Wow, this is so incredible. So lots of teachers filling up this incredible float. Is there anything else we need to know about this awesome design?
You know, again, this float, thanks to Rise Federal Credit Union, to make this float possible for all the wonderful teachers representing all the teachers in El Paso. It's and in all the surrounding cities is just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I really do love it when we get to highlight our teachers in such a beautiful way. All right, well, there you guys go. This has been a really cool, unique parade preview. Joe, I can't wait for next week to see what you guys have cooking.
I know, stay tuned.
Bye, everyone.
How exciting. I cannot wait to see that float in action. Make sure you're tuning in every Thursday to find out what floats the Sun Bowl Association is putting together. This is the second of 7 that we are featuring leading up to the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which of course will air on KTSM on Thursday, November 27th at 10 a.m. Well, that does it for us here on KTSM Plus, but don't go anywhere. We do have another half hour of news and weather coming up on KTSM 9 News, first at 4.
But our deals are still hot. Aqua Living's inventory reduction sale. Go to hottubsusa.com.
Hurt in a crash this afternoon in West El Paso. This is video from the scene. You can see El Paso Fire's Fire Star helicopter responding to the scene. According to El Paso Fire, it happened on a Wrestler and High Ridge around 2:30. The area was blocked off while the person was taken to the hospital. No word on what led to the crash or who the motorcyclist is at this moment. Of course, we will bring you more information as we learn those details. KTSM is your local election headquarters, and early voting for this year's November election continues. There are 17 constitutional amendments voters will need to decide on. Of those, Proposition 14, a proposal for Texas to establish the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. Prop 14 would allocate $3 billion over the next 10 years to advance research into brain diseases like dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar spoke with an El Paso woman with Parkinson's disease who has become a prominent voice in raising awareness about the disease.
To get $3 billion of research funding for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia.
Esther's advocacy for Parkinson's awareness, reaching thousands of followers across social media, using the moniker Shaking in My Boots, informing her followers how the disease affects her and million others across the country.
The more people associate someone like me with Parkinson's, the more it makes people understand that it can in fact happen to anyone, no matter what your age.
As described by the Mayo Clinic, Parkinson's disease is a movement disorder of the nervous system that worsens over time and has no cure. That's why Esther's dedicated the last 2 years to doing volunteer work and research advocacy for Parkinson's disease.
The medication we take just treats the symptoms. It doesn't slow the progression at all. I got really upset and angry, and I thought to myself, I want to put my energy into raising awareness about that.
With $3 billion on the line in November's ballot for brain disease research, Esther is encouraging El Paso and Texas voters to vote yes for Proposition 14, believing it will spur advancement desperately needed for millions affected by similar brain diseases.
It's going to make real difference. It's going to lead to breakthroughs because, breakthroughs in one disease, research in one disease, brain disease often lead to advances in others.
That was our Jesus Baltazar reporting. Now, Proposition 14 is one of 17 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution. If approved, the $3 billion would be funded from the state's general revenue. You can learn more about Esther's story and what's on the ballot by visiting ktsm.com. In case you missed it, Meta's $1.5 billion investment for an AI data center in Northeast El Paso has drawn pushback from concerned residents on resource consumption, namely water and electricity. El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego joined KTSM's Andy Morgan yesterday to put those concerns to rest. The judge says Meta is committing to offset its water use by nearly 200% and will be covering the cost for dedicated infrastructure and the usage it requires from El Paso Electric, ensuring that consumption or rates will not negatively impact other El Paso customers. He plans on holding Meta accountable to those claims of conservation.
I do want that sense of excitement from the community. I hope they realize that bringing in a company like Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and this is a big thing for El Paso, and I want them to make sure that the community knows that we are going to hold their feet to the fire in what they've said about being part of the community, integrated into a community, making sure they contribute to energy conservation, and we want to help them be successful, but they also have to be accountable for the way they got here to be in El Paso, and we'll make sure it's going to be a great partnership going forward.
Meta Center is expected to create more than 1,800 construction jobs and 100 operational positions once it is up and running. You can watch the full interview on ktsm.com. County election officials are investigating more than 2,700 voters on the registration list who may not be eligible to vote in Texas. The Secretary of State notified officials last week after identifying the potential non-citizen voters using a federal database. Election officials will now send letters to each voter in question, asking them to prove their citizenship within 30 days or risk being taken off the voter registration list. The timing of this is unique as early voting for the November election is already underway.
If somebody on this list does vote and then they do not provide confirmation that they are a citizen in 30 days, in theory, their vote would have counted for this constitutional amendment before they're purged from our list.
The federal database was used this past summer to match the names of people who voted in the November 2024 presidential election. The Secretary of State's office found 33 people may have voted illegally in that election and referred them to the Texas Attorney General. We asked the AG's office where those stand and are waiting for that answer. Are Donald Trump's immigration policies limiting the Texas economy? According to a recent report authored by 3 Dallas Federal Reserve employees and a University of North Florida professor, it's likely, as they say, immigration crackdowns are likely contributing to weak job growth. State Capitol correspondent Adam Schwager discussed the report with one of its authors.
Job growth trending downward in the U.S. and in Texas. According to a report on the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas's website, a contributing factor could be the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
The heavy presence of ICE in lots of cities and even in some rural areas is making lots of people afraid to go to work, afraid to take their children to school, afraid to go shopping.
University of North Florida economics professor Madeline Zavodny co-authored the report, which paired economic data with the opinion of Texas business executives in the manufacturing, retail, and service industries. She says voters clearly indicated they didn't like how immigration was handled in the Biden administration. But
I don't think a lot of voters understand just how hard it is to enter the United States legally.
In the survey, an anonymous wood product manufacturing executive said, "We were required to fire over 40 employees that had been with the company for over 20 years or face severe penalties."
Texans have a nuanced view on the Trump administration's immigration policy.
Recent polling from University of Houston and Texas Southern University shows a slim majority of Texans support Trump's handling of immigration.
With a plurality thinking that it has reduced the amount of crime in Texas, but a plurality also thinking that it has reduced or weakened the Texas economy.
While the Dallas Fed's report focuses on immigration policy, it also points to other economic factors, such as uncertainty over tariffs, as reasons for job growth slowing. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
Zavodny said the immigration crackdown affects how much a business is able to sell, with fewer people in the state leading to less demand for goods and services. All right, now time to switch our gears and get a live look outside using our tower camera. Still looking partly cloudy, but overall beautiful. What a gorgeous day, Robert. No better way to start looking at the weekend. We have Friday tomorrow, of course, Friday football. How are conditions looking? I know our sports department is very keen on following the forecast when it comes to Thursday.
Yes, I'm not so worried about our photographers because they'll have their jackets. I'm worried about little teenagers going to the football game thinking, oh, it's never going to cool down. Yeah, it will tomorrow. So please have a jacket and don't be shaken. All right, here are the winds right now. 25-mile-per-hour gusts at the airport, 12 Juarez, 16 Las Cruces, 34 miles per hour Deming. We're going to feel these winds, especially on the eastern slopes, for a while tonight. Now you can still see the dark clouds, especially south and east of the El Paso area, and that's where the best chance is for a few more passing showers this evening, even a chance of an isolated thunderstorm embedded within those showers. The most likely would be Tornillo all the way up towards Socorro and Horizon City. I'm pretty much dropping the chance at this point for Las Cruces. I think that window has closed to the north. 84 is the temperature at the airport right now, and we're gusty on occasion. Here's a quick look ahead. When we clear out tomorrow, the winds will feel cooler as we drop down to 78 degrees. But that night, once the sun sets, that's when you're going to need the jacket. Beautiful weekend ahead. I'm going to have your detailed 9-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Tirsa.
All right, Robert, thank you. Federal officials have charged current and former professional basketball players, including an NBA head coach, in connection to illegally gambling schemes. Authorities say they raked in millions of dollars through sports betting and rigged poker games. Washington correspondent Kristen Eskow has more details on the federal investigation.
The FBI director announced more than 30 people have been arrested in connection with these two criminal cases. Authorities say this involves current and former NBA players, a head coach, and mafia families.
We are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra.
FBI Director Kash Patel says the arrests span across 11 states in two fraud cases linked to years-long illegal gambling operations. Each involves well-known figures from the NBA.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling.
In the first case, authorities have charged 31 people who they say rigged illegal poker games backed by mafia families. Among them, Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Fame former player for the Detroit Pistons.
These defendants used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed.
In the other case, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and 5 others are accused of participating in a sports betting conspiracy, sharing insider information to help others win and then taking in some of the profits.
When specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses.
Authorities say these two cases are separate, but 3 defendants have been charged in both cases. Now, an attorney for Terry Rozier said his client is, quote, not a gambler and, quote, looks forward to winning this fight. In Washington, I'm Kristen Eskow.
Coming up, the DA over in Las Cruces will be refiling charges against a woman in the DWI crash that killed 2 children. We share your thoughts regarding this case in our In the Comments segment. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
The KTSM 9 Plus streaming app is finally here, and it is absolutely free. And downloading it is super simple. On your Roku remote, hit the home button, head to the streaming store, search for KTSM 9 Plus, and click download. Once installed, you'll have instant access to live newscasts, weather updates, and exclusive local digital content.
I'm Andy Morgan. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back. All right, you need to check this out. Red crab migration season. It sees millions of crabs make their way to the ocean to breed, and it kicked off on Australia's Christmas Island. This video was taken yesterday, and according to Parks Australia, red crabs emerge en masse from all over the island and make their way to the ocean to breed every year. This drone footage shows the crabs crawling down a road on their journey to the shore. They are so tiny. What a long journey for them.
That's Australia?
Yep, that's Australia. Look at that.
Are the red crabs completely deadly? No? Good luck to those crabs. You're a few miles from the ocean. It's the other direct. You're on a road. You're in the outback right now. You're not going to make it. You need to turn around.
Robert, are you part Australian? You would have fooled me.
No, but you just, if you want to do an accent, you just need one catchphrase.
Okay.
And for me, it's completely deadly.
Completely deadly.
Yeah, just keep talking.
I don't know. Well, go do the whole weather report.
We'll do the, okay. Oh, I have. No, we won't today. All right, let's take a look at our current temperature in Las Cruces. 80 degrees right now. Winds coming in, gusting to 21 miles per hour. I think the winds are slowly starting to back off. We could see a few more surges in those gusts between now and about 8 o'clock tonight, but the skies, they're going to clear up. That dew point temperature is coming down. The moisture is clearing away. Now, El Paso County, Hudspeth County still have a chance of passing showers, even isolated thunderstorms. Watching some nice development to the south of Juarez right now, and the whole flow is toward the north and toward the east as the tail end of this system drags it on through. Right now it's quiet in county, but you can see those dark clouds to the south, and you can feel that moisture. Of course, the best chance of these little passing showers, not a big amount of rain. We never really had a great chance for heavy rainfall or anything like that. Between Tornillo and up towards Socorro, possibly Horizon City. We'll keep watch of this for the next few hours, and then later tonight it's all going to clear out for a beautiful and almost cloud-free weekend ahead. Here are the rain totals. 0.02 last 24 hours, Las Cruces, 0.044 Deming, 0.28 Cloudcroft, 0.17 for Ruidoso. Every drop much needed. Here are the high temperatures so far today. These are not official yet. 87 Juarez and Van Horn. We've been at 84 so far. 82 Deming, 80 Las Cruces, 79 for Tier C. Right now in your neighborhood, here are the current temperatures. Winds, of course, will be gusting to between 20 and 25, possibly 30 miles per hour right there on the eastern slopes of the mountains tonight. But give it a few more hours and the winds will die down and be out of the picture. Here's your 9-hour forecast for your Friday. The winds are going to feel a lot cooler, even though they won't be as strong. Gusting to 25 miles per hour, high temperature 78 degrees, and a chill in the air, especially in the morning. Here's your allergy forecast. 9s across the board next 3 days. Low temperature for you tonight. I'm removing any chance of any more showers. Las Cruces 50, your low temperature tonight, but the partly cloudy skies will clear. 74, your high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. A little bit chilly at times with those winds. For us tonight, 58. We still actually have a chance of some isolated passing showers for a few more hours, and then we'll clear out. 78, our high temperature for our Friday. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Saturday, cool breezes in the morning, high temperature 80 that afternoon. What a beautiful Sunday at 83. Winds to about 20 miles per hour. Monday, 84 degrees. Then we come back just a little bit on Tuesday at 83. The nation will have a cold front on Wednesday. We're going to get the very kind of edge of that, so a little windy at times. We'll drop down to about 75. Then we'll rebound to 80 on Thursday, and Halloween 81 with a couple of clouds. Should be a very nice day. Tears up.
All right, Robert, looking forward to that cold front. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic using our Texas traffic cameras. We're currently looking at Alameda at Zaragoza. Really not too much to report here. Looks like everything is moving steadily. Joe Battle at Rojas, same thing. Looks like there is a good amount of traffic on the roadways, but overall nothing too major, nothing like we were looking at I-10 bumper to bumper. Overall, both directions moving pretty smooth over on the east side. Over in Las Cruces, the DA will be refiling charges against a woman in the DWI crash that killed 2 children. A Las Cruces District Court has dismissed charges against Cristina Escobedo Arriaga, citing a violation of grand jury procedures. The dismissal centers around an issue with the order setting conditions of release, which was amended and signed by the arraigning judge, but not by the defendant herself. Also, the address listed for Escobedo Arriaga in the order lacked a crucial detail, the space number for the trailer park where she resides. As a result, the state failed to meet the necessary procedural requirements when presenting the case to the grand jury. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you wanted to share. Pablo Eduardo Adame writes, "These legal missteps must be reviewed immediately. Those responsible for these missteps must be punished by removing them for dereliction and never be allowed on these matters. It is criminal to dismiss a case where clearly this woman is guilty. This case is a disgrace." Norma Esparza says, "Did anyone bother to read the article? It says the prosecution is going to fix the error that got the case dismissed and will refile charges against her." Claudia Gonzalez says, "As a mother whose daughter passed because of drunk driving, this infuriates me." The oversight ultimately led to the court's decision to dismiss the charges. KTSM 9 News reached out to see if the charges against Escobedo Arriaga will be refiled. The district attorney's office provided a statement Wednesday afternoon, noting it will refile charges against Escobedo Arriaga. Here at KTSM, we value your opinion, and of course, we want to hear more from you. Make sure you are following us on all our social media platforms to keep in touch through the comments. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. This is KTSM 9 News First at 4.